So welcome. If you don't want to be on camera, please cut your camera off. But welcome to your Holler at the Moon experience. So as I started sharing, I sprained my ankle 2 months ago, and it was a delightful sprain. In that, like, only yogis say shit like this. Like, I'm grateful that I sprained my ankle, but I actually mean it because it gave me an opportunity to chill out. Like, it gave me an opportunity to like get into my sound bowl practice, to like my japa practice, and to get into like levels of artistic expression. For those of you that are newer to me, welcome to Active Peace community members. Good to see you. This practice is tantric, shamanic, energetic, and artistic, right? So like it is very present with what's happening. We use music, we focus on energy and self-expression because let's just be honest, the old ways of doing things never worked for us in the first place for the most part. And secondly, and probably most importantly, as these old things fall away, it creates space for new things, right? So that is what I think all the craziness that we're experiencing now is calling us to consider something new. Does that mean that we like it? No. right? Right? Like, in fact, it's that we don't like it, which is why we should consider it more. So I'll begin by saying gratitude for your attendance, your attention, and your donations. It's an honor to hold space, sacred space in these interesting times. And the idea of this class came about because of a sense I've had since since the pandemic, like since a couple months ago when everyone thought this stuff was over, right? Oh my goodness, everyone's vaccinated, everything's great. We're gonna go to Bonnaroo again, or like whatever the fuck. So like, I was just like, oh damn, right? Like I just had this sense of impending dread, for lack of better terminology, and so this feeling of hollering has been welling within me for about 4 months, right? So when especially when I saw a couple weeks ago the person in Tennessee who was shouting down medical advisors like, "We know where you live," I was like, "Oh," right? Like it's just like you mother, oh, right? So like I don't subscribe to, and my regulars know this, like I'm not part of the Love and Light Brigade. Like that part of the yoga world can kick rocks with bare feet in December and ice cold. Like I don't believe in that because, and here's why, like it's dark right now. It's dark. And if you don't acknowledge darkness, that only leads to your blindness, right? So the purpose of this practice is to it's the final class of the theme I've been working with for 2 weeks. Like it's okay not to be okay. Sometimes you need to scream, right? Sometimes you need to be like, like you need that as opposed to I'm just gonna sit here in my fake samadhi and pretend. No, you can't pretend like everything's okay. Shit is fucked up right now. Pardon my candor. And I'll share a story with y'all before we get into the practice. For whatever reason, our society ingrains in us that it's a fallacy, but it's weak to express frustration. I used to be a political operative. I mean, some would say I still am. I'm in the process of shifting my focus. But if you can't express frustration, like that's strength, I would say. It's how you express your frustration, right? You need to do so in a constructive manner, and sometimes a constructive manner is like like sometimes it's what it is. So I'll share a story with you before we get into the more astrological elements of this. So I still have my 94-year-old grandma. Hoorah! Like I spent 11 hours with her, like week before last, and we have a delightful relationship. I've shared this in meditation classes with some of my other folks. And I was like, Grandma, look here. Have you ever seen anything this crazy in your life? Right? And she was like, no. And that's it. Right? She wasn't like, no, but this brings to mind, my grandmother is a beautiful dark-skinned woman who grew up in Southern Virginia at the height of Jim Crow, the Depression. My grandfather used to have to carry a gun to work to ward off the Klan. You know what I mean? Like that's where my people come from. So when I asked my grandmother, I was selfishly hoping she'd be like, "Oh, yes, this reminds me of such and such." She said no. And so it's okay if you're a bit put off because my elder who's been here almost 100 years hasn't seen any shit like this either. Right? So like it's okay if you're put off. And so, like shifting to a more astrological sense, full moons are periods where we're given the chance to see more clearly the areas of the shadow. And the Love and Light Brigade doesn't like to talk about the shadow. Everything's awesome. No, look, it's okay to look at your shadow because where does light come from? Darkness. Light comes from darkness. So you can't demonize the shadow because that's where you get like some of your best learnings. And this particular full moon, like I'm not going to get too into astrology, although like that could be the whole class, but like this full moon is occurring when many of our systems, micro and macro, are unraveling before our eyes. Right? It's like the great disintegration of some things that never really worked in the first place, but we just now super see it. And this is also on the heels of 18 months of the pandemic and several years of coarsened political discourse and willful ignorance, right? So I want us to consider that, when things fall apart before our eyes, perhaps it's a chance, these are breaking down for us to break through, right? These things are breaking down for us to give rise to new courage, new things. I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. Were it not for the dislocation of the pandemic, none of us would be here now. I was not a teacher prior to the pandemic starting. I wasn't. I was just like, first of all, I don't have time to deal with dumb shit. Like I'm trying to impeach Donald Trump, right? And the studio model didn't really work for me. And so the dislocation of the pandemic essentially gave me like clarity. I was like, I'm one of the few people that's reacting super mellow. I'm gonna take this. And so in candor, I also was just like, this is the only time, like this is after George Floyd got killed, I got super Machiavellian and was like, this is probably the only time in my life that people actually give a shit what a black man has to say. So I'm gonna take advantage of this and run with it, right? And so I ran, and now I'm here. So again, when things fall apart, perhaps it's a chance to see where you can break through as they break down. Right? We need to reimagine our education system. We need to reimagine our healthcare system. We need to reimagine all of these systems. And that's the macro stuff. Perhaps we need to reimagine ourselves. We need to reimagine our stress response. Right? We need to reimagine like the way that we view the world. Right? So that's just something I want us to offer. But in light of all of that, we still need to make space for or try and make sense of what's going on, right? And one of the songs that's going to be in the musical interlude, with such confusion, it makes you want to scream, right? Right. So shout out to MJ and Janet. So I'm reminded of a time when I saw a full moon at Guanella Pass in the Rocky Mountains. Like I heard coyotes like howling, like shooting stars, all this crazy stuff. And, elk were like all these crazy things were happening at the height of the full moon. And I felt compelled to join them. And let me tell you, it felt pretty amazing, right? So I let out my awful, like whatever, right? I was like elk for like 5 minutes, and then I was a coyote for 5 minutes. It just got some things off my chest, right? It got some things out that were beyond words. And that's what I want you to consider in this class. So when we're inhaling and exhaling, maybe you have a loud sigh. Like maybe you just are like, like whatever you need to do, use this space as a container to let go. Kylie, you like that? Right. Like use this space as a container to let go, because like it's if you don't let go here and now, why did you come? Right, just to keep it 100. And the last thing I'll say, for those of you who are like less familiar with my style, the class is kind of like a mesh between like a class I teach called Soul Food Sunday and like a Friday relaxation class. I use music. Like we're going to play these singing bowls. I have like 85 behind me, 10 of which are like trained to the moon, right? So the lunar bowls, they were made of like full moons and those sorts of things. And that'll be on the tail end of class. Like we'll do breath work, meditation. And when the music plays, it's a chance for you to get up and walk around or dance or lay in Shavasana, whatever you're called to do. Because my job as a teacher, guide, or whatever is to give you space to explore your feelings in community, in comfort. That's my job. Like my job is to create an opportunity for you to let things go and grow your space to be comfortable with being uncomfortable and or have the courage to say it's okay not to be okay, right? Because there will be a lot of people who everything's fine. I just got back from vacation. La 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 la. Never mind the fact. Like, look, things are not okay, and that shit can be maddening. When someone sent me a picture of something, I was like, first of all, do you know who you just sent this to? Right? But anyway, when we holler at the moon or when we let things go, we set intentions, and it also acknowledges the mysteries of life, right? So we celebrate the full moon to celebrate the mysteries of life, the wisdom of the shadow, that thing that exists beyond our conscious understanding, and that thing that is from which we all came and to which we all will return, right? Like that's the thing that is the genesis of this class. That's the thing that's the genesis of my teaching practice. And so that's where I'm at, right? So if anyone has any questions or comments, the chat is open. I'm a former jazz musician, so call and response is my jam. Like if you need something, holler at me. Like I don't believe like I'm sitting on high. I'm in this fight with you, right? Don't take this the wrong way, but like the guru mentality must die. The guru is the sangha, right? Like the guru is us working through this together, right? Yes, I have a different lived experience, but like my lived experience just gives me an opportunity to share for all of us to glean from. Not like, oh, no, I'm going through this shit too, right? I'm not the yogi who is just like, I'm so peaceful. I am peaceful, but when I watch the news, sometimes I want to like throw something at the TV because that's just the times that we're living in. So, with that, my dear friends, let's settle into some breath work, right? So you can take this on the back. You can take this up in an upright seat, like whatever position is comfortable for you. Settle into it. Beth, nice. Thank you. Right, right. So settle into a tall seat or on the back or whatever, however you care to practice your breath work. And first things first, like get into the shoulders if you're upright. If you're on the back, just feel the ground beneath you. But for those that are upright, like shrug out the tension that exists. Don't worry about the breath yet. We'll get into that. But use this as an opportunity to settle into the body and get out of the head. Part of the reason that we're all over the place is we're thinking too much. What I want us to do is to get into the feels and get into the feels in a communitarian sense so that we can process them, so we can name them, so we can be with them, right? So settle into your pose, whatever it is. Everyone open and close the jaw a bit, like do a fake yawn or what have you. Now, whatever pose you have chosen, place one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. For those in an upright seat, proud chest, navel slightly engaged. For those in the back, just take up space. So 4 clearing breaths in general, then we'll transition to Viloma Pranayama. So deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, clear. In through the nose. Exhale, clear. Twice, in through the nose. Exhale, clear. Last, in through the nose. Exhale, clear. 4 more like that, but make the clearing more aggressive if you need to. In through the nose. Exhale. Maybe you get into the neck. Inhale. Exhale. It is okay to scream. Just let the neighbors know. In through the nose. Exhale. Last aggressive clear. Inhale. Exhale, clear. Viloma Pranayama is next. Switch the hands, please. 3-part breath on the inhale. Full exhale to whatever degree you need clearance. Inhale through the nose. Fill the belly. Pause. Fill the ribs. Pause. Fill the upper chest. Exhale, clear. Again, feel free to let it go however calls out to you. 6 more like that. Inhale, fill the belly. Pause. Fill the ribs. Pause. Upper chest. Exhale. 5. Inhale, fill the belly. Pause. Fill the ribs. Pause. Upper chest. Clear. Switch the hands. 4 more. Inhale, belly. Pause. Ribs. Pause. Upper chest. Clear. Last 3, feel free to howl. It's called Holler at the Moon. Inhale through the nose. Fill the belly. Pause. Ribs. Pause. Upper chest. Exhale. You heard it here first. 2 more. No shame. Do what you got to do. Inhale through the nose. Fill the belly. Pause. Ribs. Pause. Upper chest. Release. Release the hands down. Same breath without the hands on the body. Inhale through the nose. Fill the belly. Pause. Ribs. Pause. Upper chest. Exhale. Woo! Now settle into a breath pattern that is natural and comfortable. Notice what has been released and leave it. As if you were talking to your pet, leave it. And the energetic and somatic clearance that has taken place, breathe into that. So have the breath be whatever cadence calls out to you. And allow your awareness to see how that experience, especially if you let loose some howls or whatever, how cathartic was that? Like getting past the shoulds and the oughts and, oh, what if someone hears? If someone hears, who cares? This is about your healing and our collective redemption. And as you settle into the breath, inhales brighten the body, exhales soften the body. And use the tool of the breath in your expanded awareness to maybe brighten a specific area on the inhale and loosen a specific area on the exhale. If that's too much, just breathe in and out. But perhaps you breathe into the chest and exhale, soften the hands. Or you breathe into the belly, exhale, soften the chest. Right? So begin to use the tools of your awareness and the breath to give you the release and the relief that you need. Again, feel free to use the exhale to holler, to howl, to offer any sort of cathartic release that is required. There is no strength in keeping up appearances. The strength is in being vulnerable and releasing and letting shit go. Keeping up appearances is labor. That's not strength. It's a waste of energy. Especially if you factor in what we considered earlier, that perhaps the breakdown of the systems and the breakdowns of the things before our eyes are to create space for a breakthrough. So holding on to things that are disintegrating is like holding on to sand and getting pissed that it's sand. So keeping the breath deep and full, brightening on the inhale, softening on the exhale. We'll do this for about another minute, just using the tool of the breath to engage and clear energetic and somatic entanglements. When we're so wrapped up in our head, that friction of the hamster wheel of the mind yields tension in the body that just it's a cycle of self-destruction. So give yourself the clearance on the exhale, the buoyancy on the inhale to restore. Feel the ground beneath you, however you are oriented. And when the mind starts to spin, perhaps breathe deeper. But more importantly, just give it space to spin. Shifting the focus of our meditation, first of all, notice what has shifted even now. So find simple ujjayi breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Maybe a 4-count inhale, 4-count exhale, 5, whatever capacity feels on the edge of your comfort zone and deeper than what you normally do. And as you settle into your breath, notice whatever thoughts or feelings are present. Someone emailed me when they found out about this class and was just like, I just don't know what to do with life right now. I was like, I understand. So now that we've slowed down the mind, now that we've deepened the breath, if thoughts and feelings are still present, name them. Anger, sadness, confusion, happiness, right? So name whatever's present. Keeping the breath deep. And notice as you name whatever's present, perhaps it gives you a little bit more space to hold it with a little bit more objectivity. And as you breathe in and out still, nourish that space to give you more of an opportunity to view whatever feeling or thought with compassion, but a different perspective as well. And consider, how might this perspective nourish me more than the perspective that I usually carry? And then as you consider the last question, use the remainder of this meditation to keep creating space and keep building that different perspective that gives you space. Because, my dear friends, fear is not the enemy. Fear is a tool. Anger is not the enemy. Anger is all your emotions are telling you something. I'm not saying anger and fear should drive the car of the mind. They can be in the back seat though. But if they backseat drive too much, it's okay to put them out for a little while. I mean, they'll be back. And as you create space around the thoughts and feelings that you've named, begin to name that space. And the name I would offer is compassion. And as you breathe into that compassionate space, perhaps it allows for different shifts. Emotionally, mentally, otherwise. Allow those shifts to take place. Again, rather than holding on to sand and getting mad because it's fine, allow the sand to slip away and be with what remains. So I'll leave you in silence for another couple minutes. Feel free to continue to name thoughts or just allow your mind to count the breath or whatever you feel would serve you here. Feel free to switch position. Feel free to switch breath. But give yourself the opportunity to find nourishment, comfort, and space to sift through the wild shit that we're being asked to consider. Feel the energy of the 20 other people that are here with you. And feel the support of knowing that from Europe to Los Angeles, there are a group of people in unison, sorting through some things. Gently allow the breath to deepen, allow the body to soften. And for those that are supine, make your way to a comfortable seat. Supine means on the back. I'm writing a book, y'all, so nerd words are ubiquitous. Case in point. With hands at heart center. You get there when you get there. 3 clearing breaths. The clear can be as benign or wild as you require and desire. But before we have those breaths, notice what has shifted. How has your energy shifted? Has your heart opened? Was the naming of the thoughts and feelings something that allowed you more space? And give gratitude for you taking the time to do this for yourself. People get super busy when it comes time for self-improvement. People want to like do mindless stuff. So you doing this is hard work, but this hard work is worth it. So deep bow to each of you for that. 3 clearing breaths, 4 count inhale. Actually, let's make it 7. Inhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Clear. Howls at the moon are welcome. Inhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Clear. I'll howl on the last one since I'm talking so much stuff. Inhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. That always feels good. Anyway, rub the palms together. Create friction in the palms. Place those palms over the eyes. Allow the heat to transfer through the eyelids. Gently massage the eyes. Thank them for the service that they offer us. And thank them also for being mellow for about 15 minutes. As you're ready, open the eyes into the palms. See the darkness. Lower the hands from the eyes. Welcome in the light. How are we feeling? Feel free to place in the chat how you feel. Or if you want to offer a reflection, just use the raise hand function and we give space in Sangha if you want to speak. But at bare minimum, if you feel anything different, put it in the chat so we can all kind of have the benefit of your experience. And if you want to like voice it, just put the raise hand function and we'll hear you out. Terry, thank you. Kevin, that's what's up. Sandra, wow. Hell yeah. Appreciate that. Connie, blessings. Rachel, for sure. Nick, your shoulder stand was the best, son. Thank you for that. Awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, so everyone just read what everyone else is sharing because this is the point, right? So I love a good isolated practice, but like as a teacher, I feel called to create Sangha because we create conditions for our isolation. We do to some extent we do this to ourselves. Yikes, right? So in the spaces I offer, like we come together as strangers and leave as friends. Like that's how I get down, right? So be forewarned. If you spend one time with me, I'm hard to get rid of, right? So sorry, not sorry, right? You'll thank me in the future. So see, love the connections happening here. So what's next, my dear friends, is 22. This is so perfect. So today is the 22nd of August. So naturally, the songs I've picked were 22 minutes and 44 seconds because that's just kind of how I get down. So I will let you know what they are and tell you the arc of the musical interlude. So you can feel free to journal. You can feel free to get up and dance. You can practice, whatever, right? But the first song is Scream by Michael and Janet. I have been blasting that on my iPhone with my Beats headsets, and just because like it's just delightful. That is an invitation to do aggressive vinyasa or like whatever, like a dance. Like I don't know, like I'm old, but like if y'all saw that video, that little sequence they had was lit, right? So like if you want to like pretend like you're Michael and Janet and just like stop pressuring me. The other thing I love about this song is that Michael curses. I didn't know Michael cursed, right? Because in the middle of it, he's like, "Stop fucking with me." I'm like, "Yeah, Mike, yeah, yo." I feel that way all the time, right? Sandra, Sandra, thank you for that. No, word up. I appreciate that. The second song is, if you look over my shoulder, I have Marvin Gaye and Earth, Wind, and Fire. Both of those are LPs that are about 50 years old, honestly. But Make Me Wanna Holler by Inner City Blues is Marvin Gaye's next. So that is the segue from Scream. So you still want to holler, but you're just trying to mellow it out a little bit, right? Third song is Make Me Wanna Holler by Michelle and Cello. So that song I chose because that song is a sad song, but like Michelle makes sadness so smooth. Damn, right? So it's an opportunity for you to maybe do like a yin practice or legs up the wall or those sorts of things. But consider different ways to be angry. Like, can you be angry and smooth about it, right? Can you be sad and smooth about it? And learn through the music ways to process what's going on. And the last song is Sister Moon by Sting, because why the hell not? It's a full moon, and like in terms of hollering, the solo by Branford at the beginning is the most epic like holler in saxophone history of rock and jazz fusion. So that is your 22 minutes and 44 seconds of musical interlude. Yeah, Kylie, not today, child. Right, not today. Right, like so do with it what you will. So if you want to get up and dance, do asana, go for it. Again, like I said, I'm holding space for you. You do what you want to do with it, and then at the end of Sister Moon, I'm gonna go directly into the sound bowls, right? So like at the end of Sister Moon, get ready to chill out. All right. So music starts now.
my God, can't believe what I saw as I turned on the TV. This evening, I was disgusted by all the injustice, all the
With such delusions, don't it make you wanna scream? You pack your music, pick the mind in the scheme.
Yes, run it, go with every line, it's criminalized.
Oh, brother, please have mercy, 'cause I just can't take it. Just can't take it. Stop your fresh, stop your fresh, stop your fresh, you know you need it, make you wanna scream. Stop your fresh, stop your fresh, get dirty, get dirty, get dirty, baby. Stop your doing, stop your bad. Let me know you, yeah. Stop your fresh.
Shots, spend it on the have-nots. Money, we make it. Before we see it, you take it. Oh, make me wanna holler the way they do my life. Yeah. Make me wanna holler the way they do my life. This ain't living, this ain't living. No, no, baby, this ain't living. No, 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 no. Inflation, no chance to increase finance. Bills pile up, sky high. Send that boy off to die. Oh, make me wanna holler the way they do my life. Yeah, make me wanna holler the way they do my life. Oh, baby. La, 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 hang-ups, letdowns, bad breaks, setbacks, natural. Fact is, honey, that I can't pay my taxes. Oh, make me wanna holler and throw up both my hands. Yeah, it made me wanna holler and throw up both my hands. Oh, crime is increasing. Trigger happy, policing. Panic is spreading. God knows where we're Everybody thinks we're wrong. But mother, who are they to judge us? Mother, mother, simply call me sweet, wear our hair long. Mother, mother, ooh. Sister Moon will be my guide in your blue, blue shadows. I would hide. Ark of the people asleep tonight. I'm all by myself in your silver light. I would gaze at your face the whole night through. I'd go out of my mind but for you. I'd go out of my mind but for you. Lying in a mother's arms, the primal root of a woman's charms. I'm a stranger to the sun, my eyes are too weak. How cold is a heart when it's warmth that he seeks? Watch every night, you don't care what I do. I go out of my mind but for you. I go out of my mind but for you. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. My hunger for her explains everything I've done. To howl at the moon the whole night through, and they really don't care if I do. I'd go out of my mind but for you. Sister Moon,
used to whore herself. And my father would reap the benefits of her labor. It was almost as if she was absent from her own life. I remember she would scrub the floors for the white folks just to come home, to cook and to clean for the man who broke her. And I love to watch her dance to the tunes on the soul station, yeah. Just to ease her mind. But my mother, she was vindictive in her own fashion. See, she passed down to me her traits, like that of her brown eyes and her dark hair. She passed down to me her sadness. Child, I promised myself I'd never be like my mother or my father. I would ask myself, did he feel so much pain that it would make him want to hurt another? But there was no excuse. There was no excuse to make up for the pain that I knew my mother felt. Somewhere my destiny came that I too became a slave to my heart, wanting love so badly that I'd do anything, no matter the shame. Got up the nerve to ask my father why. But my mother, she would say she stayed for my brother and myself. But I would have sold my soul just to share in one day of my mother's desired happiness. When night fell, sometimes when night fell, I'd close my eyes and I'd hide. When they would yell and scream, when my father would paint her with the dark face of being belittled, disrespected, and set aside. His liquor, the salve for the unseen wounds. I learned so much from him. What did I learn? How to hurt all those. Try to get too close. After all this time, nothing's changed. Make me wanna holler, make me wanna holler, yes. Make me wanna holler, sell my soul just to see you happy. Make me wanna holler, sigh, sigh, sigh. Make me wanna holler, so sorry for the pain. I always thought my mother deserved so much more, but I never knew how to fix that. I drown myself in guilt. I just don't know what to do. No, Mama, I love you.
Now settle into whatever pose you care to spend the last 10 minutes or so. For sound, I want to shout out to Beth. I loved your comment about Michael Jackson's "woo" as a howl. I didn't even think about that either. So shout out for that suggestion. And yeah, Michelle Ndegeocello, if y'all don't know about her, like please get all of her stuff. Right? Like she's DC native and like has the ability to just put poetry and sadness together in a funky, just delightful way. So I ended with that because again, throughout the song she talked about sadness, but just there's still like a mellowness about it, right? I'm not trying to sound like Debbie Downer, but like the past 4 years have been crazy. The next several will probably be likely as crazy. So can we find some sweetness in the sadness? As Stevie Wonder might say, can we find joy inside our tears? Like, is there a way to hold space for dueling complexity? Like that is what we got to figure out. And that's what this space is for. So please find your comfortable seat to relax for 10 minutes of sound. And I end this practice with sound because it goes beyond the mind. It's a visceral thing. Like sound is precognitive. So if you need an opportunity to get outside your head, it's coming. Allow the body to take whatever shape and the breath to be what it is. That bowl was to clear the mind, now to clear the heart. Now that the heart and mind have been cleared, I'm going to offer some harmonics. So just settle in. Give me about 20 seconds to set up, but allow the harmony of the tunes you're about to hear just to take you wherever it does. And over the next 2 minutes or so, just allow the breath and the body to be in whatever space you're in. Nothing more, nothing less. Gently begin to breathe more purposefully, and or the beauty of the home practice is if you care to stay where you are, please do. Shout out to the 80s. Don't disturb this groove. Far be it for me to take you out of your zone. But for those inclined, meander towards a comfortable seat in the next 7 breaths or so. Again, the invitation is to stay where you are, if in fact that's what serves you in this moment. For those in the seat, assume a seat of comfort, shoulders relaxed, yet alert, as well as the mind. For those who have remained as you are, luxuriate in that choice. And remember that the choice that you just made exists for you in all circumstance. And as we conclude our time together, I just want you to remember where you were spiritually and energetically 75 minutes ago. And remember the connection between community, breath, vulnerability, sharing, and creative expression. And as we continue to endure whatever the fuck is happening right now, the tools that we just experienced together in community form the foundation of how we get out of this mess. Bearing in mind that sometimes the greatest things are born of tremendous messes. May that be so here. For those in the seat, press palms together, shoulders back and down. 3 clearing breaths. Howls are welcome naturally. And then we'll om at the end. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, clear. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, then we sing in through the nose. Exhale, clear. Inhale to om if that's your jam. Inhale. As the resonant sound of the sacred sound of Om washes over you, allow the head to bow towards the hands if in fact that's your practice. And as I bow before each of you, thanking you for showing up today, remember that what we worked on here can be transported, right? So very simple, very accessible. And please know that however I or the Active Peace community can be there for you, that is why we are here. We are accessible for you, not on some plateau shit like we're in the fight with you in the beautiful struggle. Love, grace, and peace, dear ones. Have the dopest Sunday ever. Look at the moon tonight since we just spent all afternoon howling. Until next time, love, grace, and peace. Ashe. Namaste.